your aunties with Pez and Sade. I am Sade.
I'm Pez.
And today we are talking about cannabis, marijuana, Mary Jane, whatever you want to call it. Of course, today I had to get stoned for the occasion, so I'm a little bit blazed at the moment. But today we're going to be discussing all things weed, from prescriptions to legalization. And we're going to also answer a couple of your guys' questions from Instagram. But first of all, Paz is going to tell us about her getting her prescription in Australia. So take it away, girl.
Thank you. Okay, so first of all, I already have tried it before. So when I was kind of scrolling through TikTok actually, and then I came across an account and they were talking about how they got it and it's all legal and how, it's helped them. And then I started doing a lot of research about it if it would help me, because I have a few mental health issues and taking, medication just isn't something that I want to do or ever have liked doing. So I wanted to always try something natural, and I thought, you know what, why not? So I went online, and in Australia, there's a few companies that you can get a legal prescription from. So I picked one, and they all do the same thing. So I picked one. You pay for a consultation fee, then you fill out
How much is that, girl?
It ranges from like $60 to like sometimes 160. So that's the range for like the initial appointment, because they are longer appointments because they have to have conversations with you and just kind of figure out if marijuana would be the best fit for you. So I filled out an online form and I told them when I was free, because you can pick a slot. And first of all, I got a phone call from a nurse, and she pretty much spoke to me about why I want it and what I've tried before and why has that not worked and what kind of symptoms am I experiencing at the moment. So we went through it in detail. Some of the prescribers will ask for like a medical record to verify if you have actually tried medication, counseling, and all that. Some don't ask for anything, and they go off the conversation that you've had with them, and then they will prescribe you. There's a range of medicinal marijuana products. It's not just smoking the flower. There's like different things that's available. So I pretty much.
So you can't just rip a bong, ASIS.
No. I mean, you can if you want to, but like they say. So when I was speaking to the nurse, she was kind of like, we can prescribe you the flower, but we can't kind of tell you to, have a bong, have a spliff, because that's smoking, and then we'll be promoting smoking. That's unhealthy. So we can't, So she said you can use like the only approved device vaporizer in Australia at the moment is the Mighty Vaporizer. So that is quite pricey. And she's like, that's the only way you can smoke it legally. So if you're out and about, you can smoke it legally with that. No one's going to say anything to you. But if you're going to, pop out a bong in the middle of the bus station or something, you're fine.
Me.
So with the process of talking to the nurse, I pretty much told her, I have anxiety. I'm going through a few PTSD symptoms. I have depression, ADHD, and I told her I have tried sertraline and I didn't like the way it made me feel. I felt very numb on it, and I want to feel, I still want to feel real feelings. I still want to, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And I don't want to be like numb the whole time. I still want to feel things. So I said to her, I've tried it. I haven't liked it. I've tried it on and off for a couple of years. It just doesn't work out for me. It upsets my stomach too. And she said, you know what, that's fair enough. So what she does is she makes notes. She lets the doctor know. Then I think it was like a week later, I had a conversation with the doctor, and the initial payment that I made covered both appointments. So I spoke to the doctor, and they've got CBD oil, they've got THC oil, they've got marijuana, they've got marijuana flowers. They've got different strains of flowers that do different things and help with different symptoms. I didn't even know this until I started researching. So then we spoke about it, and he said, have you tried it before? And I said, yeah, I have. And he said, how did you feel when you're on it? And I said it was fine. And he said, okay, well, I can prescribe you the flower. I will give you 2 different strains. One's for daytime, so you're productive, and one's for nighttime, so you can get a bit of sleep. And then he also gave me CBD oil. And then that's it. Like they send you an online like login for, so you create an account with the pharmacy. They have like an online pharmacy. So you make a prescription, and then you like you go on to my orders, and then everything your doctor's prescribed is there, and you can pick the quantity you want. They prescribe like a whole bunch, but you can like, I'm going to try it. I'll get one of each and then see how I go. So that's what I did, because it is quite pricey. It is a few more dollars than what you'd get on the street, but it's organic, it's grown, and you can like in like a very controlled environment. You can trust it 100%. You know exactly what you're getting. So it is worth the money.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got it. Like it took a while. I think it took 3 weeks to get here, because it's like a big demand, and like the pharmacy is unable to keep up with the demand because everyone's on it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, when you go to like a tinny shop versus the pharmacy, right, you're going to get quality. And sometimes some of the strains in the shop are a lot more potent than the ones that you just get from your regular old tinny shop, So how did it make you feel, sis? Like in comparison to, say, meds or something, what would you say the benefits are of taking medicinal marijuana for anxiety and other mental health?
For me personally, I've noticed that I'm having less anxiety attacks, and like I feel happy. Like like I told you, I texted you before, like, am I the only one that just smiles the whole time we're high? Like
I've got sore cheeks.
yeah. It's like I'm so happy, and like and you have with the medication that they give you, you have to take it for a while to feel the effects. But with marijuana, you take a hit and you're feeling the effects in like a minute. Bless you.
Thank you. Carry on, girl.
Yeah, and you know that it's natural, so there's like the side effects. You may feel a little like your heart races. You may panic a little bit for the first few times until you get used to like, oh, this is how I'm supposed to feel and stuff like that. But I feel good. Like it's a slow, because I use the Mighty Vaporizer.
Yeah.
So it's like a slow high. It's not like
better. Hey, that's the whole point of it, and it's not like it cleans the smoke in a way.
Yes. So it's like cleaner, and like it like you slowly get to that high, and then you stay there for a while, and it's like really good. So it's not like, oh crap, I'm high and like I didn't get time to think about it. It's like a gradual, and I haven't had like a bad experience yet. And I've been taking like it slowly. So I've been taking like micro doses and like building up to like where I want to be, and how I can function and stuff. Like it's an experiment, to be honest, at the moment.
Yeah, nah, fully, because like if I get just random buds, it might just knock me the fuck out, and I'm out for like a couple of hours. Like I had some edibles the other day. I had these yum toffee pops. Oh my fucking god! And girl, like I was like, oh my god, like how long is this gonna take to bloody work? So I had a cone, and the next minute I was just like legless. Just
I love it.
So
I guess that's
what, like
the strain, sister.
Yeah,
it's the strain.
Yeah, because I also on the same day I tried the Mighty vape as well for the first time, and bro, that is a really nice high. Like it's not the same as a bong where you just completely fucked from the get go. It's a real nice gradual one, like you said.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said before, the strains, like they do different things for different types of people. And like there's like a website you can go on and like check what the strain does, but the doctors will tell you as well. And I was going to show you, but I threw out everything because it's all empty. Like there's no point in showing empty bottles. But it like when I received it, it was big blood, sister. No, I have photos. I'll find photos and I'll show you.
Yeah, put them on the screen, girl.
I will. But it's like, I know it's a controversial topic, and like people have such negative, I don't know, because of the media and like the news reports and stuff, people have such a negative like view on marijuana. But from epilepsy to mental health to Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, like it helps so many people. And you don't, it doesn't mean that you smoke. There's other products out there
You can
that,
eat it. You
yeah,
can. Well, it's kind of the only other way. You can either eat it or
like you can
smoke it.
have oils, the oils you put it under your tongue.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like them. They taste a bit to me. It
Oh,
tastes
bro.
tasty.
I tried the CBD oil and it was disgusting. I
Nah,
couldn't do it.
I can't do it, bro. It's gross. Like I'm not even gonna like I'm a stoner at heart, bro. I can't remember the last time I wasn't not. But CBD oil.
It's disgusting. It's disgusting. It takes a while to get used to. I tried it once and I was like, how you have to take a deep breath to stop yourself from vomiting?
Yeah.
That
When
was
I've
me.
had a brown cone. Yep, 100%.
Yep. That was me. I was like,
And I'm just gonna backtrack a little bit because you did actually remind me of something when you were speaking before, but how you were saying, marijuana helps with ADHD, anxiety, depression. Same thing with MDMA. There's been studies in, fuck, I actually can't remember. Like, I did read it up, but I can't remember exactly where. I will find out. I think it's Switzerland, but they've actually legalized MD as a medicine to help people with like manic depression, schizophrenia, and they're seeing results. And drugs don't always have to be bad, but there is that negative side.
so when I was speaking to the nurse, she kind of wanted to know if I've had any bad experiences while I've tried, the street marijuana, and if my family has a history of psychosis, if I have a history of psychosis, because obviously, like every other medication, marijuana isn't for everyone, because you can
Exactly.
have psychosis on it, you can have anxiety on it. It can increase your anxiety, it can increase your depression, you can become dependent on it. Um, like everything else in life, all with moderation.
No, absolutely, sis. And I pride myself on being a stoner and stuff, but I know at the end of the day it's not good for me, and these things that I've noticed over the time that I've smoked weed, like, bro, my short-term memory is shocking. Like, I actually have to write down everything if I want to remember it. Otherwise, if I don't, it's gone with the wind, bro. And I used to be so onto it and had such a good memory, but now, yeah, I probably need to cut back a little bit.
Like I said, all in moderation.
Fuck yeah.
Because if you abuse it and overdo it, then you're not really helping yourself to overcome your symptoms, you
Nah,
know?
not. It's just the same as an addiction, like people will use like alcohol to drown their sorrows, so to speak, and people will use like methamphetamine to literally go to another planet. It's the same thing with weed. People use it to escape, and yes, for a while I would say that I did use it as an escape, but now I feel as though, because I'm so fucking busy and I've got so much shit to do, I'm like, right, get everything done, and then by 5 o'clock, that's it, cone time. All right, that's the reward for the day.
Nice. I wake up and then I hit it and then I go on about my day.
I'm not gonna fucking lie, girl. Like, because I literally just had a cone, like for the last 16 minutes that we've been filming, I've really had to concentrate on holding my head up. I'm a little bit fucked. I'll be okay.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Just don't panic, because it makes it
Yeah.
worse.
So
You panic.
yeah. So to anyone out there, like, we're not promoting
No.
marijuana. We just want to discuss it. So we want you guys to do your own research for your own health, because everyone is different, like Paz said. So
Yeah,
yeah. Did you
exactly.
want to read us out those questions, sis?
Yes. Let me get my phone out. All right, so we have a question and it says weeds versus mushrooms. I'm currently reading the book Blue Honey about mushrooms in NZ. So I don't have an opinion on this because I've never tried mushrooms. So I'll leave it to you, sister.
So I've tried mushrooms before, and the way that I've tried them is actually being ground up into a powder and then put into a capsule, and then you just take it like a pill. It was the nicest high I've ever had, but it was also like real buzzy. I took it with a friend and we were so fucked up, and we got like $200 of Uber Eats, and it arrived, and then she was like, "Oi, I just feel like having a food fight," and I was like, no, no, let's not do that. But it is the type of high where you need to be in like a safe environment and with people that you trust. That's also really important, especially when you are doing drugs.
Yeah.
Because there's some fucked up people out there, especially when it comes to this stuff.
Yep. So that's another good point that you brought up, is doing it in a safe space. Maybe even for the first few times, if you've never done anything like marijuana, mushrooms, whatever you're doing, do it with people you trust and in a safe space. Don't do it at a festival because you're gonna just have a shit time. Because it's your first time, you're gonna panic.
Don't do that shit for the first time when you go out in public. That's my biggest fucking
because you don't know how you're gonna react to it.
No, you could be, who knows? So just make sure that you guys are safe.
Exactly.
But to answer that question, I can't say. I haven't had enough experience with mushies to compare it with weed, but in the experiences that I have had, elite. It's a very lovely high and it's very natural.
Nice. All right, next question. Someone just asked, what did Paz get prescribed medicinal for? So it was, I said it before, depression, anxiety, and ADHD. That's it. And then another question is, why do these online doctors charge so much for prescriptions before you even get it? In my opinion, I think that's because, like, if you're in a store, you have to pay before you get the product. Like, they're not gonna,
I kind of have an idea about
go
this,
on.
like, to answer this question.
Yeah.
But okay, so back in maybe like 2017, I went and got Duramine, whatever it's called, for like it's a weight loss drug, and it's pretty much like crack.
Oh.
And yeah, so it makes you stay up, it makes you not hungry, so you lose weight really rapidly. And for like a consultation for that and to buy it, it was like $130. So for, I guess, high risk medicine, there would be a cost involved. That's just my guess, but I don't actually know 100%. So
yeah, well, I think it's expensive. Well, like, it's expensive because it's like organic. It's, like I said before, grown in a controlled environment. It's like looked after like a little baby. Like they take so much care and love into it, and it's produced with the highest quality stuff. So obviously you'd expect to pay quite a few $100 for it. And like obviously the prescriptions and the consultations, they cost money because technically these are private doctors. They don't get anything from in Australia, Medicare, I think. So they need to, make money somehow. So they're going to charge what they charge, unfortunately. And that's just how it is.
Same over here in New Zealand.
Yeah. It might get cheaper once, the legislations change and stuff. But for now, this is what we've got to pay, unfortunately. This is a long one, by the way. Next one.
Okay. Cool.
So it says, hey team, this is in regards to the weed talk. My queue was too long for the question box, but can we please address the differences between generations and how important it is to have a graceful and knowledgeable welcome into weed? And let these kids know the way they smoke their shit is useless and waste of money. Having weed while you have mental health problems is not the tahi, and how to identify that, please. The pressures that come with smoking and not being conscious of your surroundings, get sick, bad experiences, ugly crowds it can attract. So get comfy within your limits. That's the key. What are your thoughts on that one?
Can you go back to the first part of the question, sis? Because I did have an answer for us.
She wants to know the differences between generations and how important it is to have a graceful and knowledgeable welcome into weed.
Yes. Okay. So, I mean, when you compare at the generations, right, like the boomers compared to us millennials, right?
Yeah.
There is a big difference on the perception of weed, because back then it was tapu, it was the devil's grass, and that's how it was marketed. It was very political. It did have kind of a racist connotation to it, whereas there was more brown people smoking it compared to white people. And I think that's where the differences between our generation and my parents' generation, right? They would never have been like, okay, look, there's this thing called weed, like, do you want to try it with us, in a safe, controlled environment? My parents would never have fucking done that. They would have fucking given me a hiding if they knew that I was down at the beach smoking joints with my boyfriend. Like, fuck, I would have got a hiding. But now, as an adult now, sis, like, if I was to ever have kids, and I'm sure you probably feel the same with Aniv, you want that open conversation in the home for you, so your kids do come to you and say, I did this, or I tried this, or can I try this, so it's in a safe, controlled environment, and you know where your child is, what they're doing, how much they've had, and they're not off at some random fucking party in the hood, just, getting buds off the muggle bobs. So, you just gotta be mindful and try and educate our elders and let them know it's not actually as harmful. It's not even as harmful as alcohol, bro. You know what I mean? And that's what really fucks with me, that people think that it's bad.
Yeah, and like my parents, obviously being Indian, they were at first they were like, I think my parents are very open and they're very modernized. So like when I told them I was getting a prescription, there was no like, oh my god, what is that? They were just like, oh, is it going to help? And I'm like, yeah. They're like, oh, that's cool. And like, and like before any family watches this and like starts to call my parents, like they know, they've seen it, I've shown them. I'm very open with my parents.
You're fucking like, mind your own
I'm 28, so I'm pretty sure I can do whatever the fuck I want.
She's grown.
Exactly.
And yeah, same here, sis. Like with my family, I guess when I first started smoking it, I was literally 13, bro, the first time I had it. And that's really bad, obviously. But because I'm an adult now, and because I get my shit done, like I have a job, I do my shit, they can see, oh, it's not actually as bad as people would make it out. And it's funny because my family would never have let me smoke weed at their house ever. But when I started being open about it, like, yeah, fuck, I'm gonna have a bong. Like my nan, when I'm on FaceTime to her, she's like, have you had a bong tonight, Shani?
That's so cute.
It's like this old, this white lady who's always just been against this shit, just oh yeah, and I just joke with her, like, yeah, have you had yours? She's like, yeah, fuck, had a big one out the back.
Nice.
So it's nice to know that I've opened their minds a little bit to it.
Yeah, and like with like obviously Arnav, I want to be very open and honest, and like if he wants to try something, I would rather him try it while I'm there for the first time, so then he feels safe and like I can keep an eye on things. And like I would hope that I can create that bond and that trust between us where he feels safe enough to come to me, because I think like you and I, we didn't have that, and like I only got that like later in life. Because I think if I was smoking weed and telling my parents when I actually smoked it, I would probably getting my ass beat.
Same. I told them, I was like, nah, I smoke cigarettes, so
like that's any better.
Yeah, but in their books, well, my mum was a smoker. Like everyone in my family pretty much is a smoker, so a cigarette smoker. Yeah, so that's kind of not really viewed as a very bad thing in my family, but weed is. Was.
Well, it's gonna change soon, trust me. And then so the second part was let these kids know the way they smoke this shit is useless and a waste of money.
Is she talking about bongs or like joints?
I think she's just talking about like how I said before, you know, when you like over smoke, abuse it, and you're not treating your symptoms, you're just getting high and like
You
being
just
high.
need a few cones at night after work, whānau. Like, you don't have to bloody... I'm not trying to tell you how to live your life, by the way, but if you are like wanting to cut back, just do the 5 o'clock after mahi cones. Like, don't wake and bake, don't do that. Just have a coffee, have a nice little breakfast, and, you know, do your day. Because that's where, you know, sometimes weed can start to replace food. And I have seen people take too much buds and not eat. And that's not good either.
Yeah, same. And like if you're feeling, I guess, anxiety and depressed and all that stuff, just take one hit. Doesn't have to be a lot. Take one hit and it's gonna make you feel so much better.
You don't have to comatose yourself, my bro. What a waste.
It is a waste because then you can't do anything. You're couch locked. Like, it's okay at the end of the day if you want to sleep and stuff and you take it then, and then it gives you a good sleep. But if you like have a few hours left in the evening and you want to get shit done, just take one and, you know, put on some music and go on and do your chores or whatever you're going to be doing, and just like kind of enjoy it. You don't have to be like hit after hit. Let's spin it. Like, I don't like the spinning bullshit. I don't like it. I hate it.
But I
can't
the only reason why I smoked Spencers, do you actually want to know the real reason? Because I used to be broke, okay, and I had to stretch it. You know, like I used to have to make like a 50 bag last me a week, right? Like that was the vibe. So, you know, chucking a few ciggies in there would make it stretch a little bit further. But yeah, I don't recommend it because it's not actually that good.
But yeah, like I understand, like sometimes you have to, but it's best to not do that and just take like one hit from a bong or a vaporizer, whatever you've got. Try and keep it clean, and then you get a clean high.
But no, you know, you guys know your limits. You know, you know your limits. So listen to your bodies, listen to your, I don't know, just don't be a dick.
Exactly. And there's another one. She's like, having weed while you have mental health problems is not the tahi, and how to identify that, please. Like I said before, it can cause psychosis. And, you know, if you tried it and you feel like it's not helping you, it's making your symptoms worse, stop.
100% flat out, sis. Or go talk to a doctor. And I know that they're probably just going to say, just stop. They're just going to say the same thing. Because it isn't for everyone, you know. Like, I've had friends who have ended up in ambulances because of it. And that is the reality, you know. Like, it is a nice thing to do, but there is the ugly side to it.
You're right. And the pressures that come with smoking and not being conscious of your surroundings, get sick, bad experiences, ugly crowds it can attract.
Yeah, we covered this before, Aces. Just having a safe environment and people that you trust around you when you're doing it.
Yeah. And if you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. Just because your friends are doing it, like don't be pressured into that shit. Like, that's gonna make your experience really bad.
Yeah, and you know, if you don't go into it willingly, you know, it can just end up being not a nice time for you. Because yes, you can be high, but there are lots of different types of highs. It's hard to kind of distinguish sometimes, but there's obviously the productive high, and then there's the
couch
high. Yeah. But yeah, you just know your limits, guys. But if you don't want to do it, you don't have to either.
Exactly. So that concludes questions. So speaking of experiences and bad crowds and stuff like that, when was the first time you did it, and what was it like?
Oh, so I was year 9, I was 13, and my boyfriend smoked it, and he was 13 as well. So that's how I ended up getting some. But the first time I got it, we were in town, because the thing to do back in the days, I don't know why, was to just go hang out in town in your best outfit. And that's what we did. So obviously, like, there was no parents around, there was kind of no authority. So we were like, fuck it, yeah, let's do drugs. So that we did. And we also smoked ciggies and stuff on the beach as well. Fuck, I know my mum smelled it on me. I know she did. But anyway, we headed down to the beach, just rolled up a joint, had it. And I was absolutely twisted, bro, because obviously this is like your first time, right? And the first time is always the most intense. Like, you think about when you have a tolerance break and then you go back and have like 3 cones in a row and you're not handling it as well as, it's like that. So I'm like stumbling around town, and like I'm losing track of time because, my mum, she was fucking strict, bro. She was up my ass. 4 o'clock on the dot, Shite, I will be at the McDonald's car park and you better be there, otherwise you can walk home. That was the vibes. So it was like maybe a couple of hours, and when you first get stoned, bro, it feels like you're stoned forever. It just feels like it never goes away, eh?
Yes.
Like, so I was freaking the fuck out, obviously, like trying to sober up. And like when you just concentrate so hard on being sober that you end up just being sober. Yeah, I was that. But like when I got home, bro, I had the munchies, and my mum was like, haven't you eaten all day? And I was like, nah. And she knew, bro. She fucking knew. But I knew she didn't say anything because my dad would have given me a crack.
Oh my
But
goodness.
she picked me up from town that afternoon, and I was like, freaking the fuck out.
I bet. I would be freaking out too. I was luckier, I think. My first time was with my friends, and I think I was in like year 11 or 12. And it was like with my friend that I went to school with and his sister, his older sister. And we're all still good friends till this day. Like, this was like years ago.
This bonds you for life.
I know. So like my cousins who are younger than me but older than me, because I'm like so short, so I'm their little sister. They're twins, and like they were supposed to pick me up later from her house, and I was supposed to sleep over at their house. And I remember we like were sitting outside in a circle and we're talking, and then we were passing like the bong around, and I was kind of like freaking out already. Yeah, for my first time.
Oh, fuck.
And I remember like taking it, and they were like teaching me how to do it and stuff. And then I remember like, this is like all meshed in together, but I remember just laying on her bathroom floor because the tiles were nice and cold. She's like, what are you doing? It's nice.
Yeah, you just go into another fucking planet, hey?
Right. And then I think it was the same time. I think my cousins came a little bit later, and they're like, are you fucking high? I was like, no. And then we got home, and then they made me play Monopoly, and I couldn't figure anything out. And then they're like,
too much concentration, eh?
Right? It was funny to them. That was like my punishment. It was funny to them. And then they were like, you have to eat ice cream because ice cream's amazing when you're high. So I ate ice cream. It was really good. It was like, I'm like, this is fucking so good.
Flavor though?
I can't even remember. Like, I was so traumatized. I was like trying to act cool, like, yeah, I'm cool. And like I was freaking out at the same time. Like, these guys are gonna beat my ass soon. Oh my God. It was good because I think for them it was funny, but they made me feel safe.
Yeah. Bro,
so it was
I'm
like,
just passing out the fact that you hit a bong for the first time. I didn't graduate to bongs till like fucking after high school. I was too scared.
Serious?
Yep.
Bro, I thought that's how you're supposed to do it.
Oh, I always just thought joints because I was a sheltered child.
I actually haven't had a joint ever.
Really? It's all right. So it's quite nice.
I might try it, but it's always been... I might try it.
Get someone to come over.
You got it. So we're going to move on to legalization and referendums. So I'll speak on Australia first. So as far as I know, I'm in Victoria, and so New South Wales in Canberra, you can have 2 plants at home. They made it legal there, but not the rest of the country. It's only in Canberra. And then, yeah, and I think the rest of the country, you can get a prescription and legally carry it as long as you have a card. I think.
Oh my God, show us the card, girl, but make sure you cover like any numbers or, you know, any.
Yeah, I'll cover. I haven't even taken it out of the packet.
Oh, cool.
I'll take out like my name and stuff, but.
That is so cool.
Right?
Approved medicinal cannabis patient.
And I've got my name, my date of birth, and the issue date. And it's like,
Does it expire?
If I carry that, no.
Fucking right.
It has an issue date, but no expiry. And like, I can carry my flowers anywhere I want to in the country. I can fly with it domestically. I can vape in public, I believe, without getting in trouble. So if like the cops stop me and they smell it on me, I can show them my card. And like if you're carrying it with you, you need to carry it in the same canister that it comes in because it has like your name and all that stuff. The only thing is though, you can't drive when you're a patient.
That's a no-brainer. So wait, when you're a patient, so you can't drive at all?
At all. You're not allowed to.
What?
Yeah, they need to change the legislation, but they haven't changed it yet. We need to catch up because I feel like as long as you didn't smoke it right away, you should be okay to drive, you know?
Yeah, like I understand not smoking after you've had a sesh. That is just like a no-brainer, but not being able to drive, I think, at all is a little bit far.
Yeah. Yeah, we're waiting on it to change because obviously we're adults and we have responsibilities. And I think as long as you're responsible with like when you smoke and when you drive, I think it should be fine. But they're doing roadside testing in Victoria.
No.
So if you're driving and you're positive, they're going to be like, I don't care if you're a patient, you shouldn't be driving.
Bro, that like, yeah, see, because my partner and I were discussing this actually about the roadside testing. And we were saying, you know, like, what if you had a sesh like fucking 4 days ago, you know, on the weekend just with the boys? And then the cops, you know, test it 4 days later and then you're in trouble. It's like, now that makes sense. You're not even allowed to drive at all.
Exactly. And I think over here, you don't get in trouble. They just like tell you to give them your keys and you park your car wherever you are. And they'll like make you catch an Uber or something home. Like, you won't get into trouble, but they'll just be like, come on, man, you can't be driving.
I'll be like, I'm not leaving this car on the side of the road, brother. You know what happens to cars like that?
Yeah, I'd
be
die
looking
if
for it later. It'll be stolen later. For fuck's sakes.
And like, I drive a Jeep, so you can imagine, like, I'm not leaving my car.
Bro, I would not leave a Jeep lying around either.
No.
And I wouldn't leave my fucking Subi on the side of the road either. Fuck that, because they get broken into like nothing.
Exactly. So I heard, I think you and I were talking about New Zealand and legalization. Can you tell me more about that?
Yes, so the referendum was a couple of years ago now, and basically it was like fucking like 52% to 48% or something very slim like that. And it was actually kind of a shock because I thought that they would just go through with it anyway and just be like, whatever, we're going to just do it anyway because of the benefits that it has, not only like for people and their health, but also economically. It would have created more jobs. It would have just brought more money into our economy. And, you know, the money wouldn't be going to the gangs at the end of the day. Like, I think that's the biggest thing that we've missed out on, and the money going back into the community for positive things. I mean, say like over in like Colorado, I'm gonna have to get numbers, but they made a significant profit off just the sales alone in the shops. And I think a lot of people went into their voting very blindly and didn't consider all the factors of why we should legalize it because they thought, oh no, in fact, we don't want lazy stoners all over our streets and blah blah blah. And I think that's what a lot of people kind of voted no for. But there's so many other things you can use hemp, hemp for like material, organic material, all that sort of shit. So that's why I was actually quite upset that it didn't go through. And I thought Jacinda Ardern might have had a little bit more sense and just been like, I'm the boss, it's going through, fuck yes.
Right. And I think it comes down to education. And like, I
100%.
think if the public was educated on the benefits and what it could do for the economy, I think the outcome would have been different.
I tried my best, bitch. I made so many videos. Like, I was like, come on, guys, vote yes. And clearly, it wasn't
Was
enough.
this in 2015?
Pardon?
Was this in 2015?
Nah, fuck no, girl. This is like 2 years ago. Like,
Oh.
2020-ish. Around the same time as the elections, I think. Yeah.
I think when I was in New Zealand, there was another like political party, and it was like legalized marijuana.
I've met them. Wait, I've met the guys that run that party. Like, okay, so I'm not gonna say when, where, or just for privacy and because they're very private people, but I met them and they were interesting to talk to. They had some very interesting points about it. But I fully understand their stance.
Yeah, I did vote for them.
What's that?
I gave them my vote.
Yeah, same. Oh wait, no, actually, no, I didn't. I'm not gonna say.
You didn't?
Girl, I just didn't think to.
I was like, yeah, all right, you can have my vote.
Yeah, because I'm a little bit serious when it comes to voting, and like now, I'd probably, I don't know, who knows? Fuck politics.
I know. I need to like. Oh, that reminds me. I need to like look into voting from here.
Oh yeah, you just go on the what is it called? Electoral thing.
Yeah.
Website.
Now that I'm an adult, I care about who I vote for.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't before. I was like, fuck it.
Can you
Who cares?
please vote for my good girl? Because we're struggling over here.
Oh, I know.
Conclusion for marijuana, my girl. What's your thoughts on the situation?
In moderation is the biggest thing. In moderation, and it has a lot of health benefits. I would suggest to do your own research first.
Yeah.
Read journals, like medical journals, research on it, and see if it's something that would help you. And if it is, talk to a medical professional, because it can react with some of the medications you might be on. So you always want to chat to someone that knows about that stuff, just in case you're doing more harm than good to yourself. But it does a lot for people. So I mean, I'm not going to knock it because it's worked for me.
Hard, same, and I'm in the same boat as you, girl. There's so many benefits to it, not only for health but economically. We can use hemp for lots of other things, and I think overall we would benefit as a country, as a whole entire world, if it was just free for us to use. As you said before, in moderation. I definitely think that there are limits to cannabis, marijuana, Mary Jane, whatever you want to call it. Do your own research, get your own advice, and maybe get a couple of opinions too.
And with that said, we're going to end it there. If you have any questions, feel free to DM us. Our DMs are always open. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Instagram. You can find Sade on TikTok, on YouTube. You can find us literally everywhere.
Spotify, all right.
Oh, yes. I always forget about Spotify. I don't know why. It's like the last thing I always think of, Spotify. But thank you so much for joining us. I hope this was educational, and I hope this kind of broadened your mind on marijuana and the impact it can have on people, as well as keeping in mind the negative side effects. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.